Hey guys, it's Caitlin. So this is gonna be my July reading wrap up. So this month I got my wisdom teeth out, so that meant I was laying in my bed reading for like a week straight. So I read 20 books in July. It's a lot. It is a lot. I have my Goodreads up here on my computer so I can remember, because when you read that many books in a short amount of time, you merge them all together. First up, we got Daisy Jones and the Six. I loved this book so much. It was so different from anything I've ever read. Basically set in interview style, and it just follows Daisy Jones and the Six, who is a rock band in the 70s, and it just talks about their lives, all the struggles they go through, and it makes you feel like you are like a part of the band. So definitely read this. And I've also heard great things about the audiobook. Since it is in an interview style, the audiobook may be better for some people. I gave this 5 stars. And then I read Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book I could not put down, but I gave it a 4-star. I just I don't know, something about it just made me not absolutely love it. So this basically follows Lowen, who is a struggling writer, and she gets the opportunity of a lifetime when Jeremy Crawford asks her to finish his wife Verity's best-selling series that she is physically incapable of finishing. This is like a psychological thriller romance, it's called, or something like that. So definitely interesting. Then I read The Hating Game. I absolutely love Josh. He is bae as frick. They're basically rivals at work, and they are up for the same promotion. Obviously, they're fighting for that. Enemies to lovers, basically. And then workplace romance, forced proximity, you know, all the good stuff. And then I read Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I was so excited to read this book because it is literally every booktuber's favorite book. And it did not disappoint. I love the cover too. It's so pretty. This is like childhood friends to lovers, and it is just so cute, and I love their romance. Don't talk because something happened for 10-ish years, and then they run into each other, and it is alternating timelines between then, so you can figure out what happened, and then the now, obviously. Love in Other Words was a 5-star. And then we read Where the Crawdads Sing. This is probably one of my favorite books of all time. This is my favorite book of the month, and then we'll get to my second favorite. I absolutely loved this book. At first, I was not feeling it. It is a little slow burnish, but once it got going, and this is not normally what I read, but maybe it should be. This basically follows the Marsh Girl, set in the 60s, and then there's also a murder in the town, and it's kind of like a murder mystery romance fiction thing. The movie is also amazing. The movie might even be tiny bit better than the book. They did it so well. So definitely read this if you somehow haven't already. Also, I want to get the orange cover, because I got this one because it was $6 because it's the smaller size, because I love this book so much. Where the Crawdads was a 10-star. And then I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and then I also gave this 5 stars. This book was so interesting. I loved learning about Evelyn's life, and I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. In my Goodreads review, I wrote, I didn't expect the reveal. I can't remember what the reveal was. See, this is what happens when you're on hard painkillers for your wisdom teeth and you read. You don't remember. It basically follows Evelyn's life when she is ready to basically tell her life story to a writer named Monique Grant. Oh, I remember the reveal. Yeah, I did not see that coming. This basically follows Evelyn's life when Monique Grant wants to write her story. Obviously it goes through her 7 husbands, and this book is just amazing. Then I read Heartbones by Coho, of course. I gave this one 4 stars. It definitely was not my favorite one of hers. It was good for the vibes I wanted, which is summer, beachy. Cover is 10 out of 10. It was just an easy, breezy romance book, pretty much. It's basically about Bea, who comes from poverty and neglect, and then Samson, who comes from a family of wealth. and they basically don't really want a relationship at the moment because they are going off to college, and obviously we know where that goes. So. And then I read Funny You Should Ask. I gave this 3.5 stars. It was super good. It was like celebrity trope, if you want to call it that. It was the second chance. It was pretty good, but I was a little confused at sometimes. I don't really know why, but I just was. Basically about Channy, who is a writer. 10 years ago, she wrote an article about this actor, Gabe, and then 10 years later, after her divorce, she gets another article about him. So, yeah. This is based on a Chris Evans interview, I think. And then we read the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I have already read this. I read this a couple years ago, actually, but I could not remember who she even ended up with, so obviously I reread it. First book, I gave 4 stars because Belly annoyed me and was kind of rude at some points, so yeah. Obviously it's YA though, so like. Second one, I gave it 4 stars as well, but this time because Conrad annoyed me. And also, like, why was Steven, like, never talked about in the books, I feel like, but in the show, he was, like, a vibe. Like, I wanted him to be more in the books. So I didn't really like Jeremiah in the second one either, so I was just, like, not feeling it, because they both, like, pissed me off. And then in the third one, I gave it 5 stars because Conrad did not piss me off in this one, and I was in love with him. Jeremiah did make me mad, but, like, not how he was written, like the things he did. Then we read We Were Liars. Someone probably sighed when I like held this up because it's controversial, but I gave this 2.5 stars. I was so confused this entire time, and I felt like this was a chore to read. Like, I did not want to pick it up at all. The only thing that kept me going was marking it as read on Goodreads. Did not really like the plot twists at all, and it was fine until then, and then after that it just went downhill. So basically about like a family that has like a private island that they live on in the summer. They're liars. That's all we gotta say. And then because I was stupid and bought this before I read We Were Liars, we got Family of Liars. This one I did like more. Like, we bumped it up to a 3.5 stars, maybe a 3.25. Yeah, this was good. Again, I did not really like it after the plot twist reveal. Yeah, this is basically like the same thing except a prequel, but like you have to read We Were Liars first, about just like the older members of the family. This book was my second favorite of the month. We got Dial A, 4 Aunties. I loved this book. I could not put it down. It was absolutely hilarious. I love Nathan. I love all of the other characters too. Obviously, it's unrealistic, exaggerated, but like that's what made it so fun to read. And it was just such a good book.
I forgot to say what this book is about, but it's basically about a girl who accidentally kills her blind date, and she calls her aunties to, deal with the body. And, what could go wrong?
And then following along with that, we read 4 Aunties and a Wedding. This one I liked a little bit less, probably 4 or 3.5 stars. I loved Nathan and Meddy, but it just kind of made me upset that like they were dealing with so much on her wedding day, and she like was dealing with it instead of just like, getting married. I was just kind of over it, I guess. And then I read the entire Love and Gelato series. So the first one I gave 5 stars. I liked this one and how it wasn't just about the romance and was kind of like a mystery type thing. I do wish there was a little more romance, but it's okay. I thought this was adorable, easy breezy YA set in Italy. What more could you want? It's basically about Lena who goes to Italy and like she like doesn't want to go at first, but then she finds a journal that her mom had written in when she lived in Italy. So yeah, she kind of just relives that and then obviously meets a dude. Then we read Love and Luck. I gave this 3 stars. It just made me a little upset because there was not chapters in it. Like, when there was like a break like this, it would be like every 30 or 40 pages. And I like to, you know, like say to myself, oh, I'm gonna read 2 chapters and then do this. But like I couldn't with this book, so that just kind of irritated me a bit. But other than that, I did like the story. This is about Addie, who went to Ireland for her aunt's wedding, and she discovers a guidebook in the hotel, and she basically just follows the guidebook and goes on a little road trip type thing. And then we read Love and Olives. So I gave this one 4 stars. It was gonna be a 5 stars, but the ending basically about Liv, who goes to Greece because her father left when she was young, and she goes to find him again. And then there's obviously a love interest. They basically go on a hunt to find Atlantis. And I really liked that aspect of this book. I thought it was super interesting to read about, but I do wish the ending was a little bit different. And then I read Sad Janet. This book, 2.5 stars. It was okay. Did deal with some heavier topics, so definitely look up trigger warnings before you read this. I just really wanted to pick this up because I love the cover and dogs. Janet works at a rundown dog shelter. She's just sad. Duh. Basically, one summer, a new pill is announced that will basically make you happy in time for Christmas. Yeah, this is called a depression comedy. I didn't laugh once, but maybe you will. Most of the reason why I just didn't really vibe with this book is that the ending just made me a little upset. I feel like this is definitely something you have to be in the mood for. And then I am currently reading It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, and I plan on finishing it today or tomorrow, which will be on the 31st. So I'll add my feelings in after that. Okay, I just finished It Happened One Summer. So good. 5 stars. It took me a bit to get into it, but after I got into it, I loved it. I have like never written in a book before because it like, I don't know, I just don't look. I literally highlighted something in a book for the first time because of this book. Literally so cute. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe got some book recs. Make sure you comment down below some recommendations. I just want to know like what I should read first, if that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week, and yeah.